Food tourism is an important sector of the Malaysian tourism business. This study investigates the traveller satisfaction with the quality of Kelantanese meal. In Chapter 1, the researchers will cover 8 main sections, which start with the background of the study, research problem, research objective, research questions, conceptual framework, research hypothesis, the significance of the study, and operational definition. The second chapter will cover the variables and phases used in the conceptual framework, primarily based totally on literature. Last but not least, in Chapter 3, we'll go through the research design, pilot study, data collecting and data analysis, which will cover descriptive statistic, Pearson correlation, reliability test, and finally a conclusion to bring the chapter to a close.
Background of the study. According to Vatica 2018, food is identified as being an expressive identification and essential factor of culture and heritage. Meanwhile, Hall and Mitchell 2000 state that food tourism can be defined as visiting food exhibitions, food festival in destined locations, and particular location for which food testing and experiencing food are the primary factors for travel. Jalis et al. 2007 had placed that food is one of the new tourism products and the most relevant to the Malaysia context. Malaysia is a melting pot of several races that harmonize and complement each special, in particular in terms of the gastronomy product. States like Kelantan can be very famous with its traditional desserts and also known as food haven destination. For example, nasi tumpang, nasi kerabu, akor, and many more.
With issues that are highlighted, the main aim of this study is to investigate the tourist satisfaction of food tourism in Kelantan. To achieve this central purpose, the study is guided by the following objective. The first one is to study the tangible reliability, assurance, empathy, and responsiveness of food tourism in Kelantan among the domestic tourists. Second, to investigate the level of satisfaction towards food tourism among tourists.
The research questions of this study are: firstly, what are the tangible, reliability, assurance, empathy, and responsiveness of food tourism in Kelantan among the domestic tourists? Secondly, what is the level of satisfaction toward food tourism among tourists?
Our conceptual framework is must have independent variable and dependent variable. We have 5 things of the independent variable like tangible, reliability, assurance, empathy, and responsiveness. For the example of tangible is appearance of food, hygiene of the premises, and taste of food. For the reliability, we have consistency in food taste and available of food. For the assurance, we have food safety and staff knowledge in customer service. For the empathy, we also have good prices of food and convenience. For the responsiveness is we have intention to revisit and also advertising. For our dependent variable is tourist satisfaction.
Significance of study. Theoretical aspect. From theory aspect, this study will contribute to the current literature of food tourism and directly affect tourist satisfaction. Furthermore, there are fewer studies that focus on tourists' future intention to revisit the place. As a result, this study can also assist the destined researcher make a similar research into this area. Practical. This research will help the tourism industry in understanding the preference of the tourists in Malaysia, and they can improve tourism industry by applying the tourist preference. In addition, the result of the research also can help the tourism industry to strengthen the quality of the industry in order to attract more tourists to travel to the destination.
Okay, I will continue about the literature review. The first one is Kelantan food. Kelantan food has been heavily inspired by Thai cuisine and it's popular among Malaysia. Many of the people that travel to Kelantan come to try the local cuisine, which is not accessible in other parts of the country. Sugar is one of the ingredients on which their cooking is built, and as a result, most meals from the area are sweet. Another feature is that it makes extensive use of coconut milks more than any other Malaysian food. Their curry are creamy and thick, with a flavor reminiscent of Thai food. For example, nasi kerabu, nasi dagang, ayam percik, and others. Secondly, food tourism. Food tourism may be described as people appealing to the food. However, at the same time, they prefer to research a brand new subculture while they are traveling. Apart from that, milk tourism is a fashion and the principal cause humans visit journey. It may be proven that human visit journeys to flavor the individuality of milk and research extra approximately the culture.
Thirdly is tangible. The most essential characteristic of any food appearance is its color. For a few meal premises consisting of eating places, implementation of GHP can assist deal with meal protection effectively. An instance of this will be visible in an examination of the facial expression of young baby. Besides reliability, the taste of food comes from the perception of people consuming the food, which the culture will play its role in measuring the tastiness of the food. According to Kelantan State Tourism Director Muhammad Zaki Talib, Kelantan is rich in various types of exotic food, but there is the fact of how great the variety of traditional food of this state that we will not find anywhere else. Insurance. They can be exposed through newspaper, television, social media, the internet, or any other channel of communication. All these mediums can provide enough knowledge and information regarding food safety. The staff play an important role in processing the food. This is because handling food with inappropriate method can lead to food contamination. Next, empathy. Empathy may be visible because it is an essential part of purchaser engagement management. For example, good prices and food will increase the tourists to visit the place again. It should be easy to access, good communication, and can understand customer. Responsiveness. Intention to visit again is described as an optimistic probability of visiting that place again. For the advertising, the food tourism must be viral marketing. The advertising on social media can make everyone know about the food tourism in Kelantan. Lastly but not least is tourist satisfaction. Satisfaction may be described because of the assessment general from client for the provider that we offer with the aid of using the cooperation. Satisfaction is one of the essential elements that must be taken with the aid of using the purchaser to determine whether or not to return to buy the product or offering that are provided with the aid of using the cooperation or otherwise.
Next, the research methodology. In this research methodology, we start with research design. The researchers use quantitative research design to assess the connection between an independent variable and another dependent variable. The three primary forms of quantitative research design are descriptive research, exploratory research, and experimental research. Quantitative research generates statistics through the use of important research studies that employ data gathering techniques such as questionnaires and structured interviews. For this study, the researchers distributed questionnaires to determine if the perceived quality of Kelantan food affects the domestic tourist satisfaction. Next, pilot study. A pilot study is a small study designed to evaluate research protocols, data collection methods, population and sample sizes, and other research strategies in advance of a larger study. In this study, the reliability test was done using SPSS version 22. Once the questionnaire was gathered. The researchers will go through some basic statistical tests in SPSS, such as descriptive statistic, t-test, and Pearson correlation. Next, population sample. In this research, the target population is the domestic tourists in Malaysia who have visited Kelantan between 18 to 50 years old. For the sampling technique, it is divided into two parts, which is probability sampling and non-probability sampling. Probability sampling includes random choice that permit the researchers to attract statistical inferences approximately the complete population. Non-probability sampling applies the non-random choice. The researchers will share a link of form that contains questionnaire for the respondents to answer as the data collection. This questionnaire will be open for all people who have visited Kelantan except the residents in the chosen area. Next, we have research instrument. The research instrument is the common term utilized by the researchers for measuring instruments such as surveys, tests, questionnaires, and so on. The researchers divided the questionnaire into three sections, which are Section A, Section B, and Section C. Section A discusses the respondents' demographic information, which involve gender, age, race, occupation, and income level. Section B will focus on the independent variables in 5 aspects, which are reliability, assurance, tangibles, empathy, and responsiveness. Section C will focus on a dependent variable, which is domestic tourist satisfaction. The 4-point Likert scale was used as the basic measurement technique. The 4-point Likert scale is the respondents to be forced to make an opinion where there is no neutral option, and it is defined as a good scale for researchers to get a specific response. The respondents will have to choose from 1. Strongly disagree to 4. Strongly agree. The next research method is data collection method. It can be divided into two categories, which are primary methods of data collection and secondary methods of data collection. Primary data are data acquired from first-hand sources by a researcher using techniques like surveys, interviews, or observations. The secondary data collection includes any information from previous sources. The data and information were gathered from the various web sources, including over 30 articles relating to the topic of food tourism and tourist satisfaction. Lastly, data analysis technique, which included descriptive statistic, Pearson correlation, and reliability tests. Descriptive statistics are used to outline the fundamental traits of the statistic in an observation at the site of easy graphical evaluation consisting of demographic info of the respondent, which incorporates mean, mode, median, and frequency. In this study, Pearson correlation coefficient analysis is used to study the relationship between the independent variable and the dependent variable. It is used to identify if the correlations exist between the independent variable, which are tangibles, reliability, assurance, empathy, and responsiveness, and dependent variable, which is domestic tourist satisfaction. For the reliability test, the specific measure of reliability involves internal consistency reliability, test-retest reliability, and inter-rater reliability. In addition, reliability analysis is an indication of the stability and consistency without bias.